recording, please. Thank you.
Morning, Chair.
Welcome everyone to tonight's meeting of the East Grinstead Town Council Planning Committee. We will start the evening with item 1 on the agenda, which is public participation. We have one member of the public in who wants to speak to us today. That's Mr. Wheel. So I'm just going to unmute him, and if you could give us your 2 minutes, that would be brilliant. Thank you. Off you go.
Hi, we already have permission to build an extra bedroom above our garage and a single story extension to the side. What we are proposing is to convert our current integral double garage and create a bike store and utility room for our growing family, and then move the single story double garage to the side garden as shown. By doing this, we will create the space to store my van full of work tools that I need to do my job in a safe, out of sight location, as I'm aware of the increase in break-ins in East Grinstead currently. On the other side of this new garage will be our camper van that we use for our family camping holidays. Obviously, this van isn't used all year round, so it would benefit from being stored in a dry while not being used. The new garage location is an area not overlooked by anybody, and there are no windows from any property that face the proposed area. The land is slightly lower in this area, and so the proposed garage being single story flat roof and behind the current gated fence with the land dropping away slightly, it wouldn't be very visible at all from the road. Since COVID, we have noticed a lot more vehicles parked on our street as more and more people are working from home. What this means is there's little or no parking now available, so some cars are being parked on the grass verges in our road. By building this external double garage, we will create parking to keep our cars off the road, stored away, which will benefit all the residents of the street, as well as helping the street scene. 2 minutes. By building this garage, we would be able to keep our driveway clear for our visitors to park, and therefore this would be of a benefit to our neighbours in the street, helping keep cars off the road. Drainage would be considered, and a gutter system with water butts would be used to capture any and much needed rainwater. We're also applying for an increased height of our fence to the rear of our garden. And the reason for this is our neighbours have I got 2 seconds? 10 seconds, great. So we've got a great relationship with our neighbours immediately behind. They've cut down some large fern trees, which has exposed a load of dead wood. We've got great communications with Neil and Debs to increase the height just to cover up this dead wood. That's the only reason for doing it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming along and taking the time to talk to us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 2, please, is apologies for absence, please, Town Clerk.
Apologies from Councillor Belsey, who is attending another meeting, and apologies from Councillor Mrs. Mockford. I'm sorry, Chairman, you had the reason for that one.
She had a family problem.
A family problem. So if you wish to accept the apologies, you do need to propose, second and vote. If you wish to note them, then you just note.
Okay, I wish to propose that we accept these reasons, committee. Could I have a second, please? Thank you. And could I have a show of hands in support, please?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3 is to receive the minutes of the meeting held on the 14th of September. This is for accuracy. I'd like to propose them as correct. Could I have a second, please?
I'll second that, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Odie. Are there any questions about the minutes on the 14th? In that case, can I have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. They're adopted. I will continue to go in to sign those physically after the meeting. Okay, item number 4 is to receive members' declarations of interest. Can you raise your hand if you wish to make a declaration? Councillor DeBell, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I'm a member of Mid Sussex District Council Planning Committee, and therefore I reserve the right to change my opinion at a later date should further information be presented to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Peacock. You're muted, sir.
Sorry, Chairman. As per the town mayor, I'm also a member of the District Planning Committee and reserve my right to speak as well, as per the words of the town mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Woodgate.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I have an interest in DM 202885, a personal interest with a potential prejudice, as this is a personal friend of mine.
Thank you very much. We should also note that the tree application, it's not in front of me right now.
3507, Chair.
3507, thank you. Is the town council's own application, so we won't be passing a vote on that. And on application DM 3333, this is Councillor Whitaker's application as a standing councillor. We should not be passing comment on that either tonight. Was that everyone? Brilliant. Okay, we're on to item number 5, my announcements. A couple of quick announcements. I'd like to welcome our new town mayor and deputy town mayor to planning tonight. Congratulations, gentlemen, and honoured to have you here. I'd also like to welcome my new vice chair of planning, Councillor Odie, for his first meeting, stepping into the breach there. Thank you very much. I'm sure this new team, although not hugely different from our last team, a bit of a reshuffle, will be as strong as we were in the last civic year. So thank you. Item number 6 is the Copthorne Neighbourhood Plan. Worth Parish Council have issued their Copthorne Neighbourhood Plan for consultation by the 13th of November. All consultation documents can be found on the Worth website. Should any committee member wish to a response to be sent, please send them to either me or to the clerk. That would be really good if we can get together and have a look at that, because obviously our neighbouring boundaries are increasingly getting more and more important to us. So if we can have a look to form a response, that would be really helpful, and I think Copthorne would appreciate that. The consultation for the Mid Sussex DPD has now closed. Our entries have submitted. That is now gone off to the inspectorate, and we will look forward to seeing what the next phase of that is. Also, very quickly, just to update you on that, I think some of you have read, but I was going to read it out. For the meeting on the 14th of September, reflecting on the comments made by the clerk and the chair, felt that additional paragraph should be added to the response, reference the conflicting traffic surveys and therefore the soundness of the evidence of the plan. The proposal was circulated to committee members to a positive response, and therefore the following paragraph was added to the consultation response submitted on the 24th of September. That response is minuted there. I'm not going to read it all out, but it is in your minutes. That's for noting, please, committee.
Noted.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get on to the business at hand tonight. We're going to section 8 of the protected tree applications. I'm just going to share my screen so that you can hopefully all see them. Hopefully you can all see those now. Going to make you all a bit bigger on my other screen so I can still see your lovely smiling faces. Just so anyone does know that if I am turning my head to the side, it's so I'm looking at you on this screen rather than looking at the documents on this screen. I'm not just ignoring you. So the tree applications here, we tend to take these on block to refer to the tree officer, or we would approve subject to no adverse comments from the tree officer. So I'm going to propose that we do that. Could I have a second, please? Councillor Odie, thank you. Are there any comments that anyone wants to make specifically to any of these? Okay, in that case, I'll have a show of hands in support, please. Thank you. Okay. So let's go to DM 202583. This is 9 Lucas Close. This is ground floor side extension with garage conversion, internal alterations with changes to windows and doors. Unfortunately, I couldn't get out to actually visit this one, so this is a Google Street View one. It's one of Lucas Close. Here we have the existing front and the proposed new front and side. Here we have the rear with the proposed new rear. and the existing roof plan and proposed new roof plan. So this is town. So who'd like to start me on this one? Councillor Woodgate, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I've had a look at this one myself. I do know the house, and it is in a tucked away sort of corner of Lucas Close. I actually think it's a rather nice extension. It'll add a lots of nice space for the family and give them a good usable space. So I would like to push for approval on this one.
Thank you. Could I have a second for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Scott. Any other comments on this at all? No. Okay, I would echo Councillor Woodgate's comments. I looked at it online and it is really screened and hidden away in that corner, so you can't even see it from the road on Google. So yeah, can I show of hands in support then, please? Thank you. Okay, so let's go over to Ashplatts for DM 2932. This is 139 Holtai Road. This is a new driveway. So not a lot of plans on this one. I think you can probably see them all quite clearly here. So this is the house at the minute. Not the best picture they had on the portal, but that is the current house. And this is the proposed new driveway, and where the lamppost currently is. They have to change the plan slightly on this. So this is Ashplatts. So Town Mayor, would you like to lead us on this one?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I think it's perfectly fine. It's very unusual for people to ask for planning permission on a driveway. And I note that what they're going to do is they're going to block pave the top part by the house, which is quite small, but then they're hoping to tarmac them right over what is grass the other side. Now, my only concern is that this doesn't, whether this actually belongs to them to be able to do that. And it looks to me as though what they'll have to apply for is a drop curb as well. And as I say, that's my only concern. I don't know how the rest of the committee feel about this, but it's one thing to do something to your own property and quite something else. But it does look as though cars are parking all over this piece of ground anyway. If you actually visit there, you can see that it is used for parking in the evenings. So I welcome other comments on this one.
Just before we put it out there further, and I bring in Councillor Belsey, just to remind committee that ownership isn't actually planning law. So we the ownership is for them to sort out with highways, whoever owns it, but that shouldn't actually impact our decision.
In which case, I would propose that we accept it.
Subject to the ownership being determined.
Issue.
Can I have a second on that before we actually discuss it further then? Because we need to, before we have a discussion. Councillor Odey. Councillor Mrs. Belsey, would you want to come in? You're muted, my love.
Sorry. Yes, I had a concern about ownership and the fact that I know Councillor DeBell says he has seen others parking, but I haven't normally seen people parking on that green verge. So I was thinking it would be out of keeping. It would be creating an exception rather than the rule along there. So I was somewhat concerned. So I would have preferred to have seek clarification before we proceeded, although I accept what you say that it's not part of the planning procedure. But as it's very much out of line with the rest, I do feel that that does need to be ascertained before we make a decision.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Woodgate.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, looking at the plans close up, they're going to need to lower the curb and go across the existing grass area. That's undeniable. But they, by the looks of it, they have got 6.4 metres and 5.3 metres in which to park a car outside the front of their house. So they will be on their own land once they do that. So I understand it sets a precedent for the people on there. But if it gets cars out of that lay-by and from that surrounding area, I would say it's it's a good use of space in that house.
Thank you. Councillor Scott and then Councillor Odie.
My only concern is, I know where this is and people do park there, and it is in a way, it is off-road. If we allow this for one house, I just think everybody will probably want to put in an application, and you'll have driveways all the way down there, because they will probably think, if one can have it, why can't I? And then that would be wrong. There is ample place there to park, and people park there all the time, and it is off-road.
It can.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Odie.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. The only two things: if that grass verge was there, it would be approved. But my query was really, where is their parking space at the moment? Is it at the back?
I don't know the answer.
It's an A road, it's not a good road for parking on, is it? Let's see.
I'm not sure where there is currently parking. A couple of things I'll just point out to clarify is that obviously, as I said, the ownership of the land is a separate issue. A driveway going across a bit of council verge isn't unheard of. Actually, that's pretty common all over town. The access gets pushed across, and if the others did want to do it in a little run and cars were taken off the road, I'm not sure that's necessarily the worst thing in the world. Less parked cars, making the highway wider, making that junction safer, I don't know. One thing that would concern me is I would like them to really make sure that they make the bit that crosses across have the right drainage in, so it doesn't cause water flooding and flowing in the wrong place. Did I see any other hands go up apart from Councillor Woodgate, who has spoken before we come back to Councillor Woodgate? Has anybody else put their hand up that I should know of? In that case, Councillor Woodgate, can we come back to you?
Thank you. It's just a clarification. Thank you, Chair. There is a lay-by just before these houses on the left-hand side, which is up just past the entrance. One of the entrances, yeah, slightly further back. There's one on that side of the road, and there's one on the other side of the road, just off plan, which is where people park. If not, they park round into the stone quarry and stone quarry rise and things. So another car off the road, or a couple of cars out of that lay-by, is only going to help, because it does get quite busy and they do go down other roads off of there. So it would help, I believe. That's all it was, Chair.
Okay. So we do have a motion to approve, subject to land ownership being resolved. Anybody else got any comments on that before we take a vote on that? Okay, can we take a vote, show of hands, in support of the current proposal, please? Okay, that's passed, thank you. Okay, Mrs. Bells, were you against, were you?
Sorry, say again. No, I proposed it.
Yeah, no, Councillor Mrs. Belsley, sorry.
Oh, so sorry.
I was against.
You're against, thank you. Fine, just want to clarify that, thank you very much. Okay, that has passed. Right, God, look at that. Driveway take for the longest discussion of the night, I imagine, tonight. Right, DM 20 3229 is for noting, please.
Noted.
Okay.
Thank you. Then we'll go to Herontie for DM 20 3282. This is Dickens, Coombe Hill Road. Proposed replacement detached garage. So this is obviously on Coombe Hill Road. It's the current property with a current garage at the front. They want to move it more to the side, and they want to change it from looking like this to looking like this. This is Herontie. So Councillor Odie, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, I don't have a problem with this at all. It's moving it into a better location for them. It's a nice building in keeping with the area. I'd go for approval.
Thank you. Could I have a second, please?
Happy to second that, Chairman.
Could I have any other comments on this?
No.
Okay. In that case, can I have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. Right. Next one is DM 20 3285. This is for noting, please, committee.
Noted.
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 Sure, we'll see that one come back before us for lengthy and passionate debate in the future. But for tonight, I'm very glad it's just for noting. Okay. DM 20 2885. Could we possibly, are we going to put Mr. Woodgate out? Thank you. Right, this is 9 Merlin Way, East Grinstead. This is 2-storey side extension, first floor side extension with front porch extension and single-storey lean to side extension, together with additional rear boundary treatment and new detached double garage. There's a lot there. Right. So this is the property here. Sorry, it is a Google image again, down the bottom of Merlin Way. Here we have the existing and the proposed. And here we have an aerial. I'll bring it up a bit closer, but you should hopefully, most of you have been able to download these. And the new one showing the new garage tucked in there, and the new garage proposal. I'll go back to this slide here. So again, this is Ashplatts. So Councillor de Bell, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think this is a very useful and attractive use of the space available. The only sort of cautionary part is that the new garage, as I say, I think it looks very tasteful. It looks very useful, useful space. But the only problem is that the building will come in front of the existing building line now. Have we, Town Clerk, had any objections to this? I haven't seen anything on that.
There are no objections. I checked half an hour ago. There are no objections.
In which case, I'd like to stick my neck out and propose that we propose acceptance.
Thank you. Could I have a second for that, please? I'll second that.
Thank you.
Chairman, if I can just remind you that the East Grinstead Society didn't support this one.
Okay, thank you.
Just for the fact that it is an objection, that's all.
I've got you.
Okay, there's no neighbours objecting, there's just East Grinstead Society
That was the
objecting.
thing I was most concerned about, the neighbours. Yeah.
Neighbours haven't objected.
I think just to kind of, I'd like to say just to on your point, which is a very valid point about having a garage in front of the boundary line. I think tucked to the side, as it is in the plan here, is not an uncommon place to put a garage to the front side of that. So cars can swing in and park. And actually looking at the picture of it here, it's sitting sort of into that corner. I think is actually a very logical and used space.
That was my feeling on it too, Jim.
But normally, yeah, it's something that we would look at a bit more carefully. But I think in this situation, I've got no problem with it at all. Are there any other comments on this at all? In that case, can I have, Councillor Mrs. Belsey, she's back.
I just wanted to support as an Ashplatts councillor, Councillor de Bell. I think it's good use of the space, and obviously this is the gentleman who spoke at the beginning, isn't it?
It is.
Is this?
Yes.
Yes, I thought it was very eloquent, and that the fact that he was being able to get the caravan and his van off road, I think is all to be. It's excellent. So I'm fully in support.
Brilliant. Thank you. Can I have a show of hands in support of this application, please? Thank you. Oh, there he is. He's back in the room. Okay. So this is DM 203135. This is 2 Oak Croft, East Grinstead. This is retrospective planning permission to retain a wooden fence on boundary bordering Tanyard Avenue of a height of 1.95 metres. Again, very simple set of plans. There's the fence. It is already there. So this is Herentide. So, well, we can either go Councillor Odie or we can go Councillor Peacock. It's are you town council? Sorry, I've lost track now. Are you town council, Councillor Peacock, or
Sorry?
Are you Herentine at the town council? I've lost track of where.
Herentine.
Would you like to start this one? As Councillor Odie's had a lot over the recent months.
Personally, I don't have an issue with this and recommend approval, to be honest. So it's in keeping and
Okay.
don't have to be personally.
Could I have a second for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Odie. Any other comments at all? Councillor Odie.
Quick one, Chair. Thank you. So why did this need to go for planning? Is it because it's it's over a certain height?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Thank you.
it is over a certain height. I think here it doesn't look too bad at all. It looks like quite a nicely well put up fence. It's far better than having a tatty fence that's falling down. So yeah, and I think for currently, with security, I think there's no bad thing having that sort of fence. Councillor Scott.
Just a quick one. They've come to us after they've erected it. What on earth would have happened if we'd have turned this down? Would they have to have taken it down? I mean, they've seemed to have gone about it in the wrong way, in a way.
Yes, and I think that's quite often done out of naivety rather than malice in situations like this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, there are cases where if they have done something really wrong and it is refused, then yes, they can be made to take it down what they've done.
Okay. But I do agree with Councillor Odie, and it is a good looking fence, so I'd pass it.
Okay, can I have a show of hands in support of this then, please? Thank you.
Chairman, before we move on, perhaps you'd like to say to Mr. Wheel, if he'd like to leave, he's welcome to do so. He's equally welcome to stay.
Okay, brilliant. Right, let's go on to DM 203292. This is Sharman House, Old Road, East Grinstead. This is second story rear and front extension and removal of existing chimney breast. Again, sorry, I didn't get a good picture of this because I take it offline. This is on Old Road. As you turn in from the Sackville roundabout bit, on the first bit of it up on the left, this is the property here. Here we can see the existing and the proposed. And we can see the changes in the floor plan here as well. A bit in darker grey. This is town. Who would like to start me on this one from our town councillors? Councillor Scott.
I've been looking at this, and these houses down there, or that area, shall I say, is a bit tucked out the way. So, and it's a very, very attractive extension, front and back. I can understand why he does want to remove that chimney if it's not needed anymore. It does look rather obtrusive. So I can't see any reason why I wouldn't turn this down. So I would approve this.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a second for that? Councillor Odie then, thank you. Any further comment on that at all? I would like to make committee aware that I did check this afternoon. There is an objection from a neighbour from the adjoining house, objecting to the front extension only, not the rear. But we'll take the whole application as a whole piece for loss of light. Councillor Woodgate, did you want to say something there? Did I see your hand go up?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I was debating there. I had also seen that, and I did pop round this afternoon and just have a quick look at the outside of the house. I believe we have looked at something similar to this one before, and it will step forward that section of the house, and there will be some loss of light to the neighbour, which does make me a little nervous. But I think I would go for approval on this, because I think it does make that room, that bedroom one, a little bit more usable for that client, or sorry, homeowner, not client.
Applicant, I think.
Yeah, applicant. That's the word. Sorry, I was thinking work mode.
Councillor Odie.
Thanks, Chair. Could you just go back to the photograph of the property, please?
Yeah, I will just put a disclaimer. This is a Google image, so I don't know how old it was, and there was a big tree in front of most of it, so this is from the side.
Yeah. So where is the objection coming from?
I believe the adjoining. I'm not sure. I think it's a semi-detached, possibly this house. So I think.
Okay.
On the left, I think.
Yeah, you can see how if you look from the plan, they're a semi. So it's the house to the side here.
Okay. And so can you just go back to the plans again, please?
Of course.
So that's
the current front,
yeah.
and is the proposed. I think from the side is probably where you can see it better.
Mm.
It's this bit here. I think they probably are not so happy about.
Okay. So they're building above that extension bit at the end anyway.
Above. So they're building above this bit here.
Right.
It steps out by the look of it.
Mm. Mm. Thank you.
Any other comments on this? So we do have a motion to approve. So can I have a show of hands in support of that, please? And against? Councillor Mrs. Belsley, I was unclear of your vote.
I really abstained because I didn't feel I had enough information to be able to vote. Can
Okay, you can. That's fine. It has passed. Okay. So this is DM 20-3302. This is 15 Stream Park. This is alterations and extension to provide chalet style accommodation, single story side extension and new dormer windows to the south and north elevations. This applicant has given us nice little 3D renders, which is really useful. So this is the existing front of the house with a garage, and you can see the garden nestled in between these two. If it will load up, we have some other plans here. There we go. That's the rear existing. And this is the proposed rear and proposed front. I think they probably show it better than some of the more flat technical drawings. Imberhorn, so Councillor Osborne, would you like to set us off?
Are there any objections from the neighbours?
No.
Okay. It does look a bit tight to me, but it is only a drawing, of course. Can you go back to the plan?
I can, a good one, I think, maybe to go back to if I just.
Well, see how close it is to the next buildings. Oh, there's still a bit of space there, isn't there?
So that's the aerial shot of it there. I think we might have this showing sort of a street scene change to it. So there's still
yeah. Okay, that's all right with me. I'd approve that.
This shows it here as well, Councillor Osborne, just so you can see with the neighbouring properties.
Yeah, that's okay. I would recommend approval.
There are no objections from neighbours, though.
Yeah, I would recommend approval. I would.
I will second that. Any other comments on that at all? In that case, can I have a show of hands in support, please? I don't know if it's just my screen, but Councillor Mrs. Belsley, you disappeared then. You're back. Oh, that's good. We keep losing you. Your camera is isolating you as well.
You're doing well then, Chairman.
Okay, so let's go on to DM 20-3319. This is 119 Charlwoods Road. This proposed single-story side extension, new pitched roof to existing single-story front extension. So this is the house on Charlwoods, opposite Alders View Drive. Here we have the before and afters for you, the front and rear, and the new side extension is shown in red from above there. I'll come back to here. So this is Baldwin. So Councillor Dooley, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. It's given them a little bit of office space and some downstairs cloakroom, kind of shower room. So I've got no issues with this. It's a single story. It's not really overlooking anyone. So I'm happy to propose this for approval.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please? Thank you, Councillor Scott. Any other comments on this? I think looking at this, I think this is a very small, very simple extension, and it is offering them an office area. So clearly, potentially a COVID-inspired alteration, which I think are very useful to have in houses moving forward. So yeah, all power to them. Can I have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. Next application we're going to skip over because it is Councillor Whitaker. Right, next one is DM 20-3376. This is 17 North Down Terrace, Dormans Park Road. This is demolish existing front porch, rectify subsidence and build new porch structure to new design. Now, this is one of the houses at the very end of the row of houses on Dormans Park Road. And this shows the existing porch, and this shows the new style porch. Yeah, that's it. So this is Baldwin's. So Councillor Dooley.
Yeah, I think this is fine. It's nice to have a pitched roof. It makes it's a bit more of an attractive porch than the previous one, and it's obviously rectifying subsidence. So I've got no issues at all with this. Just to propose this for approval.
Can I have a second, please? Thank you, Councillor Scott. Yeah, I would agree. This is actually, these houses were some of the very, very first council or social houses built in East Grinstead in their original Victorian terrace. The porches that have been put on them subsequently aren't period and in keeping with the original house. So I think changing these new porches isn't a great issue, and I would actually look forward to seeing maybe some of the others change to match in the future.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, nice.
Can I have a show of hands in support of this, please? Thank you. Okay, so staying in Baldwin's, a little flurry at the end for Councillor Dooley there. We've got DM 20-3474. This is 13 McKindo Road. This is single-storey front extension with pitched roof and 2 roof lights. So again, here's the existing house at the front. Here's the proposed. Councillor Dooley, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, again, I think this is a really nice extension. I think it's making the front of the house look quite attractive. It's giving a nice use of space. It's giving a nice kitchen area. It sort of seems to be the way that people are living now, is more in these kind of open plan environments. So I think it's a good use of space. It's obviously encouraging families to stay in these houses as well, which is always good. And I propose this for approval. Again, no issues at all.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please? Councillor Odie, I think you're first up there. Any other comments on this at all?
No.
Can I have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. All right. Last one of the night, this is DM 20-3494. This is 9 Blackwell Road, East Grinstead. This is demolition of conservatory and erection of new 2-storey rear extension and front porch. So this is on the Blackwell Road stretch as we come down towards the Blackwell Hollow roundabout. This is on the left here. This is the current property. Here is before and afters. The befores are in black and white, afters are in coloured, showing the new porch layout and the new rear extension from the other side, and showing the new rear. and showing the current floor plan and the new floor plan. Councillor Woodgate, would you like to start me on this one?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, another one down Blackwell, Blackwell Road. As I've said before, I think long and hard about these because some of them are quite big and quite close, but this one does seem to have a bit of space behind it and around it, and the way that the houses are staggered, there is really no loss of light to the neighbours because of the way that the sun comes round. They are sort of not extending past the footprint of the next house. So I think this is a great use of space for the current residents. So I'd like to push for approval on this one.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please? Councillor Scott. Any other thoughts or comments on this one at all? Councillor Scott.
Has there been any comments from the neighbours at all through any worry about loss of light or whatever?
No.
No? Well, if there hasn't, no, I can't see a problem with it. The front porch, definitely no problem. So the back, so the rear, yeah. Okay.
I would agree. I think, you know, it is quite a big extension to the rear, but it is still inside, as you can see from the plan up on the screen. Yeah. It's still in the back of that house. I think if there's no objections, I think it's absolutely fine down there. So,
agree.
Can I have a show of hands in support then, please? That is passed. Thank you. Well done, councillors. That was very good. I would like to close the meeting at 7:43 and remind you that the next meeting is back to Monday and it is the 26th of October. So thank you very much.